This week, we received some words of encouragement. This person said, "Hi, I've been visiting friends in Hales Corners for years and recently started a business in the area. I just wanted to say how your being an open and affirming presence in the community has always helped Hales Corner feel so much safer and welcoming to me. Your messages that scroll in front of the church and invite the community to feel loved and welcome really brighten my day every time I pass it. When I was deciding to open an inclusive practice in the area, knowing you all had open doors nearby made that decision easier, knowing I could find a place in the community. In short, I just wanted to let you all know I just really appreciate your work and presence so much. Thank you for all you do." You know, sometimes we wonder if what we do here does have an impact in the broader community here in Hales Corners, and this is an example of yes, it does. Messages like this should be the things that inspire us, give us the assurance and the confidence that what we are doing here matters and it is important and is something for us to continue on, for us to dream big, to dream visions of what can be done here in this place. And so I begin the sermon. You know, have you seen the Muppets? Anyone seen the Muppets? Come on, raise your hand if you've seen the Muppets. Come on. Which one's your favorite Muppet? Gonzo, the Old Man, Waldorf, and Astoria. Yeah, I know their name. Miss Piggy. Kermit. What about anyone else? Gonzo. Animal. Oh. Cookie Monster. No, well, that's Sesame Street, but still Jim Henson adjacent. Kermit. And who else? Kermit the Frog. You know, the first movie of the Muppets, you know, when they're trying to get their act together, trying to figure out who they are and whatnot, Kermit sings a song called Rainbow Connection. I'm not going to say the whole song, and I'm not going to sing the song, you know, I'm going to... Is that you, Jane? My singing in the shower is wonderful. But here's part of it. All of us under its spell, we know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep and have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls the young sailors? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it. The rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. You know the lyrics of that song. Kermit hears the voice calling him to go out and to have dreams, to have hopes, to aspire to something bigger and beyond himself. He does so using the beautiful image of a rainbow. Rainbows remind us of hope. They remind us to dream. They oftentimes are the signs of loved ones who have passed. Sometimes we've seen them if a funeral has been during a time of a storm when it's rained. Sometimes when you walk out the church, you'll see a rainbow. And those present will say, this truly is a sign of God. Rainbows have a way of brightening our days. They have a way of saying to us, look outside, appreciate this moment. How many of us have been in an office building and out behind our backs, it was raining and there was a rainbow and somebody said, oh, look, a rainbow. Right? Rainbows bring the amazement and the joy and excitement and a vision. Right? There's also that old saying that what's on the other side of the rainbow? We're hoping and looking for a pot of gold. But also that, rainbows, scientifically, there's no pot of gold on the other side of the rainbow. Little other parts of the song, he talks that it's about illusion. But that's not what's important. What's important is that the joy that inspires, the dreams that inspires for us. I was able to find some information about this song, some of the interpretation of those who wrote it. Paul Williams is one of the people who wrote this song. He said that in that moment, it made Kermit not the mentor, not the teacher, not the preacher. He became a seeker with the audience. We are seekers, we are dreamers, and we are believers here in this place. And one of the things that is my role as your pastor is to listen to your dreams and to your hopes. And this is what I've heard. You dream of a growing and vibrant church. You dream of new life here in this place. You dream that more people will call this place their spiritual home. You dream that we can be a place where church friendships become a system of support in your greatest time of need. A place where we can lean on each other in difficult times. You dream that we can be a place that offers social gatherings. You dream of a place where we continue to learn and grow together through studies. You dream that our church will overflow with more children and youth and young families. You dream of a church that we can expand upon our social service and mission work to go beyond what we think is possible now. You dream of a church that stands up for justice and caring for others. We're going to enact this dream while simultaneously honoring tradition and trying new approaches. We enact these dreams recognizing that the Christian church and church attendance all across the Christian church, and even in the big mega churches that so many people look to. We recognize that we shall not be paralyzed by this. Too often, it seems, in the mainline church and UCC, that we get so stuck in what we believe to be inevitability of decline that we get stuck and we do not move. So here in this place, we will continue to have a mindset for growth. We will not give up. We will continue on the dreams. We will continue to believe what is possible here in this place. We can achieve these things if we trust in each other. We can achieve these things if we dream together. There's an old cliche that you might have heard. Dream work makes the dream work. Teamwork makes the dream work. I've been thinking a lot about church and baseball this year. I've watched a lot of baseball this year. I'm now a baseball person. What an exciting time it was this year. We can't lose the sight of hope and joy and the dreams we had, even regardless of a loss and being swept by the Dodgers. We can't lose that very thing. My time in baseball was very short. I played Little League for, I think, one summer. I think one time I threw the ball I was playing shortstop, and I threw the first base, and that was like a really wonderful moment. And then the other moment I remember is I hit the ball, and it went far, and I thought, man, this is a home run. So I, went to first, second, third, and when I was at third, one of the parents, my dad, grabbed me up, and all I remember is it was black. And I'm pretty sure my feet were still running as I was being lifted up. Boy, was I mad at that. And those are the only two great things that I did while playing baseball, so it's probably good that I decided not to continue with that sport. You weren't going to have me being called at a Brewers game, here comes Joshua Simon, though it is a pretty good baseball name. Every new season, every year, in the major leagues and those who are fans, We have a dream. We dream of the World Series. We put our sights and our hopes on this. This is in part what the church is about too. Paul writes in 1 Corinthians, now there are varieties of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are varieties of services, but the same Lord. And there are varieties of activities, but it's the same God who activates all of them in everyone. To each is given the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good. To one is given through the Spirit the utterance of wisdom, and to another the utterance of knowledge according to the same Spirit. Thank you, Jonah, for reading that before. Teams need pitchers and catchers. They need sluggers and base runners. They need those who can hit home runs and those who just can get on to base. The pitcher needs the catcher in those moments where the pitcher throws the ball a little far askew. And if the catcher doesn't catch it, it's very possible that a runner will advance to second. Or even if the runner's at third, that the runner can get to home plate. And the pitcher then needs also those who are ready to scoop up ground balls or grab those air balls in the air. They need then also, when they do a good job or they're not having a great job day, they need the offense to show up. We saw this year about the offense in the championship series. And then there's also those who are the fans, often called the 10th man on the field, because they bring the energy and enthusiasm. They can help their team rally to victory. They can lift the spirits of their team, because the players feed off that energy. You know, it's a bit of a moment of self-reflection. I'll tell you, when I see a lot of your faces, I feed off of that energy as well. But sometimes not every player has the best game. Of course, they want all the other players to help to step up. And one of the things that I was so impressed upon when the Brewers they went on 11-game streak, a 9-game streak, and a 14-game streak this year. And it wasn't always the same player that stepped up. It was different people in each game, a different collection of people that stood up. And I was really impressed when, after one of the games, when the starting pitcher, Quinn Priester, he said at one point, he set sort of a record for the Brewers franchise. When, at one point, the Brewers won 19 consecutive victories when he took the mound. That's pretty astonishing. And so during that streak and that time, afterwards, he was interviewed, and they were wondering how the reporters were asking him what was it like to play such a crucial and vital role in the victories of this team. And he said this, it's going to be this. It's going to be one guy it's not going to be one guy that wins or loses. It's going to be the whole team that's going to win. And what also impressed me about this is his act of humility, because after the game, the third game in the series against the Cubs, when he flailed at the plate in the first inning, he took responsibility. He didn't point at other people. He took his own responsibility. He said he was going to learn from this moment. That's what we want always in a leader or a team player, is that we get to learn from our mistakes. We get to learn from when we have faltered and when we have failed, because sometimes there's more learning in failure than there is in victory. How does this apply to the church? The church relies on you to do your part, because some of you specialize in welcoming new people. Some of you specialize in keeping the church grounds appealing and beautiful. Some specialize in electrical and plumbing. We've saved lots of money from the talent and treasures of people who have been able to provide those services here. Some of you specialize in creating programs for children, youth, and adults. We need people in a church who attend meetings, ensuring the lights stay on, as Jeff had talked about, or plan ministry programs like a Sunday school. We rely on people to show up to sing on Sunday the beautiful words of praise. We need people who bring us new, different types of music into the life of this congregation, so that way we can also worship God through those ways. Those of you who don't have the time to participate in those ways of the church, you do matter. Your involvement here in worship feeds off of one another. I've been in this place when we've had this many people in this space, or even more, when all those voices gather together, shout loudly to the rafters, and you can feel and hear the music all around you. You get to feel the power of the Holy Spirit in your life, in this place, in this congregation, to give you life, to sustain you for the work of the week ahead. You do this. You, by being here, right? You get to be the 10th person, so to speak. And where does God play into this? God is the manager of the team. God is the one who puts pieces together, ensures that we get to be in the place where we need to be in that moment in time. God is the one who ensures and helps us be successful, because God is right there encouraging us, is patting us on the back saying, good job. Might be there when you're faltering at the plate time after time and saying, you know what, you're doing okay at the plate, but I know you're going to do better. God is there who gives us opportunities to dream, to grow, and to love. God is the one who helps us reach those heights. And even though we may not reach the heights of our greatest dreams, we can say that we tried. So many times it seems churches are ready to give up, that decline is inevitable, but here we're not going to do so. That's not our role. That's not our place. Our place is to say, no, we will do what we can. Because even though we may not reach the World Series, we may not reach those heights, we can say this, that we dreamed, that we showed up, that we gave our whole selves to the cause. This doesn't just apply to the church, this applies to your daily lives. Many of you are retired, but many of us still work in teams. One of the great things about this church is get to work with Karen and Mark and Jonah now. We're part of a team. You're part of the team. Take these types of lessons into your workplace. Let us say that we have grown, that we have had fun, and that we understand what it means to dream. Emmanuel Church, let us dream, let us work together, and let us believe. Amen.
Amen.